All right, so today we're going to talk about coil. Coil technique with clay. I have this bag of clay here. I'm going to take my wire tool and get some over here, cut off a piece. So I got a piece, a little square. Go ahead. What I'm going to do is try to start to pat this into a sort of more elongated shape. To start with, once I get a shape going, I'm going to start to use the surface of the table to roll out my slab, my coil. So, kind of roll it with my hands and push it out with my fingers as I go. Okay. Like this. Gets a little long. You can take, or just cut it in half. So I want to get a piece, a coil that's maybe, about the size of my thumb or so. I don't want to get it too skinny. And maybe I would want to prepare a couple of coils, but I don't want to prepare a whole bunch. I just want to make them as I kind of go along, because I don't want the clay to get too dried out. I have that. Next, I'm going to take my wire again. And just cut off a slab, of clay. This actually has a little cut in it. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to re-wedge this a little bit. The wedge is going to back. I'm going to press this down with my hand. Like that. And then just I can kind of throw my slab this way a little bit. Kind of thin it out. Okay. So now I have a thinner piece here. What I'm going to do with that, please, hold on. I've got a little piece of wood here to start my piece on. It's good to have something. This piece of wood is good because it's nice and porous, so my clay won't stick to it too readily, and it'll release from it more easily, so that's good. So next, I'm going to decide the diameter that I want my my piece to be. So I can take my pen tool or my knife, whatever. I can say, okay, do I want it to be round? Do I want it to be square? What shape do I want to start with? So let's say we're going to do a round piece. All right, just going to make a little roundish shape. Okay, I take this clay, I'm going to put it back with my other clay. I can totally reuse that clay again. So next, I'm going to take my coil, and because these two are very close in wetness, they're the same wetness basically, they're going to want to stick together pretty easily. And I want to do this as I go around like that. You can use the board to actually turn it that way. Okay. We come back over here where I started. Okay, once I have it on there, I want to really make sure it's connected well. I want to really go in here and push this down. Use my finger to connect that better. And the same thing on the outside. I want to push this together. My finger. Like that. Start to smooth it around. Okay. So now I'm ready for my next coil. And if I just want to come straight up, I'm going to put that next coil right on top of the first coil. Like that. Start to push it down on there. A little space here. I have a little piece left in my other coil, so I'm going to use that to fill in. And again, I'm going to go around, really make sure this is attached well. Like that. I like to leave a little bit of thickness to it because it gives it some stability as I'm going up. If I want to get some good height out of it in the first pass here, I want to have some thickness to give it that stability. And because this first assignment needs to be smooth on the outside, not showing the coils themselves, I want to really push those together. Once I get a few coils going, I can take my rib or a wooden rib and just come on the outside and start to kind of smooth it together. Okay. So I'm going to make another coil here and start with my square, turn it into a, squeeze it into more of a longer shape here. Make sure I'm closing up my ends so it doesn't start to form a hollow. I don't want any air pockets, so I'm going to start to pull my coil out. Okay, so let's split that again. Thin it out a little bit more. Same thing here. Okay. So now, maybe I want to make my piece come out more. So instead of putting my coil right on top, I'll put it on the outside a bit and start to pinch it on the outside of my previous coil. Okay, like that. Go in with here. Okay. Okay, so I want to, again, make sure my outside is done. And when I'm doing this on the outside, I'm supporting it from the inside with my other hand. So I'm not just pushing against the whole piece. I don't want to distort it too much. This. Okay. All right, let's put that to the side. I can come back with my tool again and come in here. Yep. No. No. Okay. Okay. All right, so I can keep on going up and out, or I can go straight again, or I can go in by putting the coil. If I wanted to go in, I could put the coil on the inside, like that, okay? And continue up. But I want to show you one other thing. Let me get another piece. So this is a piece I had started previously. And what I've done here is I've let it set up a bit by wrapping the edge. Yeah, I'm trying to keep that edge still soft so I can continue adding coils. But this is now stiffened to the point where it helps support the whole piece. So now I can continue adding coils and not worry about it kind of trying to collapse on me as I go along. Okay? So as you go along, once you get to a certain height where you feel like, oh, it's too soft, it's going to want to collapse, just stop with that piece, wrap it, the edge, with some plastic, and let the bottom set up for a couple of hours. It's better to not put it in the sun. It's better to let it dry normally inside somewhere. Sometimes putting it in the sun can speed it up too fast and it stresses the clay a bit. So better to let it just sit like that overnight. This was one I had made on Tuesday, so it had set up fine here. It's not too hard. If the clay starts to change color and get to a whitish looking, then you know it's gotten too dry and you need to start over. Okay, so that's my demo for today, and I'm going to put this on Blackboard so you'll have access to it, and I'll send it out in an email as well. Okay?